Hello and welcome to my first take. I am Ellie. I'm one of the head TOs for IPL for the Splat World Series. My job is as the production lead. As such, I do the streams. And the one thing I want to talk about is the spectator cams. CKK, I'm so sorry this video is like I'm on plate, and my bad. So I want to talk about the controls for spec cam, and then we'll watch a replay together, and then see I'll talk about my thought process during said replay. This is one of the ones from the Area Cup stream, so I didn't really get to watch it in full. I saw that there's commentators screaming one of the parts, but that's all I got, so I'm not cheating, I promise. But yeah, once we load in here, we'll start with the controls, which is not very many. For a game that's like this complex, there's kind of not a lot that you can do with the spec cam. So we'll take a look here. Kind of super simple. We'll start with the obvious ones. So if you want to go to like either team, then you hit your ZL, which is your left trigger, whatever you use to bag, and then your D-pad is going to correspond to one team, your ABYX is going to correspond to another. You get it. Other thing to note is up here you got the overhead camera. So if you hit the same ZL button, and then at the same time you get the right stick up, then you'll go to the bird's eye view here. When you're in this mode, you can press in the right stick, like press that shit inwards, and then it will like give you a free cam to move around. Useful for when the objective cam is like not at all focused on the action, but there isn't one specific player that you want to be watching. Things. So obviously there is the objective cam, so if you hit the same ZL button, and then you hit the stick down, then it will lock on to whatever the objective is. So if it's the zone, then it'll be on the zone. The tower, it'll follow the tower along, same with the Rainmaker. Clams you can see here is a little bit annoying. This goes for double zones as well, but if you hit the stick left or with ZL, then it'll go to help team's goal or zone, and vice versa. Kind of hard to keep track of during real games, I can't lie. I mess this up like 99% of the time. I don't think it's a problem, but something to be aware of. The last thing I want to mention is just the special gauge. So you can see here there's like some semblance of a number on the HUD at the top where you see all the weapons. So if you hold ZL, the one thing is it will show the player's name on top of their head. And then the other thing is that it will show like the number on top of the player's weapon on the HUD. That number is the special gauge, and I think it's really important to keep an eye on as a spectator, just because this game is very like moved by specials. Like, they're usually the playmakers of the game, so if you see someone get their Zuka ready, or they're close to a Zuka, probably a good time to watch them. And as a note for screen, if you notice that a player on a team is close to screen, start spectating the team that doesn't have screen. Like, whoever's using the screen, watch their team and no one else, because we're not trying to flashbang the viewer. So, special meter is good info for, the stream, but also when you're in a lobby with a screen, best not to blind them, so make sure to keep an eye on that. But just for observing in general, very useful since specials move everything. So I will go ahead and spectate the game for kind of the first time. Not exactly, but close enough. So let's see. When you load into the game, it's obviously going to throw you overhead, and then whenever the go comes up, I like to hit my X and open up the mini-map so I can see everyone's gear. I see everyone getting near the zone, so I'm going to start going to the overhead, and now this is where I start looking for something interesting to happen. This is going to be some kind of special, or someone moving up. Or maybe it's the Charger, see if the Charger gets a kill or not. Doesn't look like it, so I'll watch that edge last because they're holding a sledge, and we'll see what happens from here. If anything doesn't happen, or if someone dies, then yeah, so if someone dies, I'm going to watch the person that killed them. And then if nothing happens from this person, then I'm going to go to the person. Or sorry, I was letting go to overhead, but that is something else. Now, if nothing happens with this person, then I'm going to go back to the overhead and then keep looking for someone else interesting. I see there's a mini way far up. I missed that, that's really not bad. So I'm going to watch what this player does here, and then we'll just proceed. I see a lot of specials stacking up on the blue team, so I wonder what's going to come out first. It happens to be the strikes, so I'm going to watch them, and then it's preceded by the, followed by the Booyah Bomb, so I'm going to watch that as well, and then see what happens off of it. I gotta re-record the audio here, because low-key I was talking out of my ass, but I was struggling to discern who to watch during the fight. Usually it's gonna be one of the AoE midlines that everyone knows and loves, or it's gonna be some kind of weapon that rushes it down like Dapples or Viper. Something fast. if you can't figure out who to watch, then just go to overhead. Overhead is better than fusion. I see Comiteon's getting a lot of kills, so I want to watch them, see if they get anything else. I noticed the Mini has the bubble as well, and they were on the flank last time, so I'm going to see where they go. And then now we finally get some kind of like semblance of counter push from blue team, so I'm going to start watching them, and that starts with the crab tank, so this should be what motivates or like gets their team into the zone, I hope. Okay, thank god. Okay, so we're kind of reset here, like they capped the zone and they like kind of lived, but they're still not really back, so I'm going to go up to the overhead and then we're going to use the like zoomed overhead to free cam a little bit forward and then focus on like, you know, not one specific player, but more on where the action is happening. So we see them cooler and then, you know, they're going to move in a little bit more, so let's see what happens. But I see a special from the defending side, so let's watch them. There's also a crab ready and strikes ready, so I'm going to watch whichever one first. There's a Booyah as well. I'm just going to go for whatever special. So the strikes them out first, and then the crab's still ongoing, so I want to watch that. But they're kind of like knocked out of it, so I'm going to watch the Booyah bomb. And then there's a follow-up to the fight, so I want to watch the bucket, but they don't get anything. So I'm going to reset the overhead camera and then prepare for blue team's lockout. See what they do. So now after some time has passed, because I don't like switching between the overhead and the zoom like too frequently, otherwise it's like a little bit jarring for me. So now that some time's passed, we're going to watch them come back in. Oh, ew. Sorry, I'm like focused on watching. But yeah. Same old of just like see someone that's interesting, usually a special or an aggressive play, or a flank, like you see the mini up here. Okay, bad call on my part. They died right away. There's some strikes and Booyah coming out again, so I want to watch what they do with that. Proceed there. Now there were two AoE midlines for me to watch there, and I watched the wrong one because the bucket got the kills, but that's okay. It happened on the screen. That's fine. I see there's a crab ready, so I want to see like where the charge sets up and where they manage to use it. I'm kind of just taking pot shots, and I'm going to go back up to the over. Okay. Well, they hate me, but crab from the overhead's fine as well, so we're just going to watch that. And I think it's their turn to move back in now, so I'm going to watch the Viper since they've been like the person that's been diving in first every single time. Fortunate. And it's kind of even right now, so I don't want to commit too hard to each team, just so, because I don't know who's going to be winning that fight, so I don't want to like switch the camera around too many times just in case I guess wrong. I'm going to watch Viper again here, see if they manage to get anything happen. Jump out, so I'm going to pick someone else that's on the ground. I just happen to see the S symbol first, so I'm going to go to them. I hear the crab, so I'm going to watch the crab. And they will hammer again, so I'll watch the hammer. And I picked the S there because I looked at the HUD and I was like, okay, who's the aggressive weapon alive? And I watched them. Okay, so this is their final lockout now, so this Booyah isn't super relevant. Like to watch, just as we know, what's gonna be used for it. This flank, so we should probably watch one of them over here and watch the dapples because they can kind of like dive right in. Oh, well, that was anticlimactic. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty formulaic. It's nothing like... I guess it's really just derived from your game sense. Like, mine is not incredible, I'm not an active player anymore, so I kinda suck at this, low-key. But a lot of it's just like, you're in the overhead or the objective cam. Usually the objective cam. I don't like going from overhead to a player just because it's such a big zoom that it feels jarring, to me at least. So yeah, you go from the objective camera or Freecam, and then you find something interesting. They either make an interesting play, or you leave them alone, or maybe they die, and then you watch that player. And if they're boring, then you leave them alone, you find something else. You rinse and repeat, And then if there's no one interesting, you're either in the overhead, the objective, or the Freecam. That's really it. One note I want to make with the Freecam is, like, some people like to move the Freecam, like, really fast, and it makes me so dizzy, I straight cannot watch those streams. Please take it easy on the Freecam. Like, I'll show you what I do with mine. it just like somewhat resembles what the what the other cam does, but like if I'm on a lockout, then I'm gonna move in the direction of the team that's being locked out, facing towards the place where they're trying to go. So I'm just like very not I'm not pushing the sticks very far. I'm just like creating this like pan effect, and then during this I'm usually spamming the yell button so I can like know which button is which, and then as soon as I want to go to someone, then I'm ready to go. So I'll go and watch the dapples here, for example. The other thing is the 180 rule. So it's like spectating players that don't break your neck to see. I don't know how to fully explain this, but like they should either be directly behind the player or like in front of the player. They shouldn't like completely swing the camera around, otherwise it's like a jarring switch. Like if I go watch Sam right now, then it completely swings the camera around, and for me at least, I feel like it's jarring. But if I go from the charger to like a person that's directly in front of them, like they have a line of sight with Hirakuchi, so I'm gonna watch Hirakuchi, and then, you know, it follows the 180 rule where I'm not like I don't know if that makes sense, but like logical motions in a way where, you know, you're going to someone that you could like realistically be able to see, or like they're behind you so you get like a shot, like a different viewpoint of what you were just watching. Like I don't really know how to explain this logic, but it's just like movements that don't move super strongly. I hope that makes sense. What else? I don't really know. Like this, the same thing I was just talking about with like that zoomed in cam. Like whenever I'm on the zone, I'm always doing the same thing where I'm moving the camera like very slightly in the direction of whoever I think's gonna win the fight. Because, you know, they're gonna advance past the zone, so obviously I want the camera to be already pointing towards them so I can respect the 180 rule. I think that's it. I mean, I already talked for 12 minutes. I'm not really gonna talk, so I hope this is helpful. Yeah, tell me if I sucked and if you have any questions, and I will let you know. I will also attach Boeing's guide, which is like a nice written version of pretty much what I've said, but without a demonstration, so thumbs up. Yeah, hope this helps, and goodbye.